minutes. 2 minutes.
$30 seconds. $15.
Broadcasting from the birthplace of country music. This is
5, 4, 3.
In the blue hills of Virginia, where the tall pines kiss the sky, how my heart thrills in Virginia when the love shines in your eyes. In the evening, you're a picture so fair, mellow moonbeams kissing your hair. In the blue hills of Virginia, I hope to win ya, sweetheart mine.
Radio Bristol presents Farm and Fun Time, made possible by Eastman Credit Union. Wherever life takes you, ECU is by your side.
Evening, you're a picture so fair, mellow moonbeams kissing your hair. The blue hills of Virginia, I hope to win ya, sweetheart mine.
Welcome, everybody. Live from the McLaughlin Performance Theater here at the Birthplace of Country Music Museum. I'm your host, Farm and Fun Timer Chris Trulson, welcoming you to another live broadcast of Farm and Fun Time. We got a jam-packed crowd here as always. How is everybody? They're sounding sprightly and lively. It's going to be an incredible show this evening. We've really got some true world-class artists here. First off, a big thanks to all the folks tuned in on the various platforms and checking us out every month. We truly appreciate your continued support. And tonight, as I said, it's going to be a doozy of a show. We've got Canadian songwriter and Smithsonian Folkways artist Kaya Cater is here with us. Legendary old-time fiddler Bruce Molsky and his fabulous trio, Molsky's Mountain Drifters. They're here with us as well. This month for the Radio Bristol Farm Report, we're headed to Jonesboro, Tennessee, to Clover Creek Farm, where we're going to learn a few things about herding some sheep. Bah! Bah! Our heirloom recipe segment features Caitlin and Mohsin Kazmi, entrepreneurs of the food truck The Packalachian. They're going to discuss the polarizing vegetable or fruit, we're not sure which one, okra. I'll give you a tidbit, it's actually fruit. And of course, the Farm and Fun Time house band, Bill and the Bells, make all of us welcome. We'll start out here with a tune. This is a song about my funny-looking uncle. His name is Newton, and he's awfully highfalutin.
If you see a guy who's long and tall, all dressed up in his overalls, that's a Newton, highfalutin, Newton from Idaho. If you see a guy who's bow-legged too, and he looks cross-eyed and he winks at you, that's a Newton, highfalutin, Newton from Idaho. He rides all day, just rounding up the cap on $5 horse and a $15 saddle. If you see a guy and he's raring to go, and he hollers, yippee-ki-yo, that's a Newton, highfalutin, Newton from Idaho. Oh, take it. long and tall, all dressed up in his overalls. That's a Newton, highfalutin, Newton from Idaho. If you see a guy who's bow-legged too, and he looks cross-eyed and he winks at you, that's a Newton, highfalutin, Newton from Idaho. He rides all day, just rounding up the cat on a $5 horse and a $15 sack. If you see a guy and he's raring to go, and he hollers, yippee-ki-yo, that's a Newton, highfalutin, Newton from Idaho. Oh, get it now. Rides all day, just rounding up the cat on a $5 horse and a $15 sack. If you see a guy and he's raring to go, and he hollers, yippee-ki-yo, that's a Newton, highfalutin, Newton from Idaho.
Old Newton from Idaho. Cleagle on the fiddle, Andrew Small on the bass, and Helena Hunt on the banjo. All right, we just put out a new single yesterday, actually, and we're going to play it for you. This is a newer song that we recorded just right down the road here at Big Tone Records, which is an amazing new facility that just opened up here in Bristol. These guys are what you call audiophiles, and they collect all this wonderful old tape gear, and they have like every kind of tape machine you could imagine. So they record only to tape, as you can imagine. So we put out this song just yesterday. Filmed a video over there as well. If you haven't, if you're listening, you should go check out Big Tone Records. It's a really amazing project, and I'm really happy that they're here in Bristol. Give them a hand. They're up here, actually. I should mention, they're all over there. So this song here is one called That'll Be Just Fine by Me. Waiting down at the station, just about 4:45, wondering if the bus will ever make it. Come, it never seemed to run on time. Tired of this old city, I'm so tired I'm losing my mind. As soon as he takes my ticket, Lord, I'm gonna leave it all behind. That'd be just fine by me. I mean, sweet mama, I'm gone. Yes, I'm traveling on. That'll be just fine by me.
soon as I can. If this bus ever pulls into the station, doubt you'll ever see me again. That'd be just fine by me. I mean, sweet mama, I'm gone. Yes, I'm traveling on. That'll be just fine by me. That'd be just fine by me. I mean, one thing's for sure, you'll never see me no more. And that'll be just fine by me.
That'll be just fine by me. Now, a word from our wonderful sponsor, Eastman Credit Union.
Hi there, how you doing? Hope you don't mind us crooning about Eastman Credit Union. They're the reason that you're able to tune in. If you like all the things that we're doing, let them know how much you're approving. Say thank you, Eastman Credit Union.
Yes, tell them thanks for their support of Radio Bristol's Farm and Fun Time. And remember, ECU is there for you, from using your phone to transfer money, to making deposits, to signing loan documents from anywhere. For more information, visit ECU.org and join Farm and Fun Time and say,
Thank you, Eastman Credit Union.
hey, thanks. Thank you, Eastman Credit Union, for your generous support of Farm and Fun Time. All right, it's time to get into the first segment, the heirloom recipe segment. Food is at the center of our culture and is so important in the Appalachian region. Food represents much more than what we eat. Food represents family, memory, history, place, home, and more. And this month's presenter, we have two presenters, as a matter of fact. We have Mohsen and Caitlin Cosme, who own and operate the Appalachian food truck based out of Abingdon, Virginia. I hope you all have tried it because it's amazing. Each dish on the truck is a blend of both Pakistani and Southern Appalachian cuisines. They both built the truck from the ground up and opened the business in April of 2018 and have built a large, hungry following ever since. Soon you can find them competing on the Food Network's Family Food Showdown. The two are going to discuss the polarizing Southern staple that is okra, specifically a dish important in their household known as bindi. Please give a big Farm and Fun Time welcome to Mohsen and Caitlin Cosme.
Hi there, how's it going? Awesome. Thanks for having us. My name's Mohsen.
And I'm Caitlin. How is everybody? Good. We're happy to be here with you tonight to talk about an okra recipe. That's right, okra. It's probably the same fruit that you had a love-hate relationship with as a kid. You'd find yourself enjoying something fried, then they'd tell you it was okra, and you'd probably spit it out. Or maybe that was just me. When Mohsen and I were thinking about a dish to talk about tonight, we couldn't help but choose this one. It is the combination of tradition and taste that makes this fruit speak to us. I am the Appalachian side of the Appalachian. I grew up just over the mountain in Russell County. My family has gardened since I can remember. I grew up smelling the seeds growing in the spring. After we planted everything, I would walk barefoot in the dirt almost every single day of summer. What was I doing? Checking the progress, flicking the blooms, right? I was doing all of those things that we do in the summer, peeking around the big leaves to find the squash.
She still walks barefoot.
That's very true. This recipe begins where so many Southwest Virginia okra recipes stop, by frying the okra. You want okra that is small. If you let it get too big, it'll get bitter. So you pick it when it's about 3 to 4 inches so that you have exactly what you need. In a mix of cornmeal and flour with ample salt and pepper in perfectly heated oil on the big eye of the stove. My mom was very specific about that. You go with the big eye on the stove. You want to fry the okra until it's golden brown and crunchy, and then set it aside. Frying the okra is the first step to this Pakalachen bindi. Yes, I said bindi. What is bindi, Mohsen?
Sure. Here's where things get interesting. Bindi is simply just means okra in Urdu, the language my parents sometimes spoke at home. On the food truck, we seek to include facets of both of our cultures in each and every dish. Basically, Pakistani plus Appalachian equals Pakalachen. I am the Pak side to the Pakalachen. I too grew up eating okra, but never fried. Let me explain a little bit about my childhood that is absurdly similar to the one that Caitlin just described. I also grew up in a garden, watching my father plant generations of seeds in our suburban plot in North Jersey. My parents immigrated to the United States. I know, I'm here now, though. My parents immigrated from to the United States from Pakistan in their 20s. And what I didn't realize is that many of their plants that they grew were from their home country of Pakistan, specifically the state of Punjab, a place that prides itself on the rich agricultural heritage that they have. They prepare meals like sarson ki saag, which is pureed mustard greens, and they really like it. It goes best with makki ki roti, which is cornbread that they make by hand and bake. All of these things that are coming from two different agricultural societies that might have more in common than we might think. Pakistani culture is incredibly hard to describe in a few sentences, but it's a lot like living in the same neighborhood as your entire family. Each day is planned around the mealtime, and the smell of garlic and onions puts a stop to any argument or gossip that may have occurred during that day.
And you definitely need a shower, for sure.
Food brings us together, and hard work ensures that everyone is tired enough to fall asleep at the end of the day. For two cultures that pride themselves on their work ethic, you have to know that a good hearty meal gets you through every day. To both of us, a meal starts with seeds and finishes with recipes that have been handed down generation to generation. I fondly remember harvesting fresh tomatoes, tender okra, and aromatic onions for my mother to prepare a bindi masala that's worth talking about on a radio show. A masala is a mixture of vegetables and spices that come together to create the vibrant flavors of many South Asian dishes. Every good masala starts with oil in a pan, throwing onions and listening to them sizzle. That sound kind of signals to your brain that you need to start making room in your stomach because food's on the way. After the onions start to blacken, you throw in fresh garlic. Cooking this mixture to the right consistency is the most important part. Our general rule is to cook the onions and garlic until people in the other room stop talking and start asking if it's time to eat. It's at that very moment that you add the spices that you ground in a mortar and pestle right before. Spices such as coriander, turmeric, garam masala, amchur, mixing them around in that pan until they bloom. With haste, because it's time for tomatoes. Preferably tomatoes that have a cool name like Mr. Stripey or Cherokee Purple, because those are the ones that are going to have the flavors that you can pass down. And you're ready for your final step after this. You start to realize it because people are going to be running towards a table with their elbows, elbowing for the spoon and the fork to start eating. Caitlin, get us through this after that.
Quite simply, the third and final part of this is taking that fried okra from the first, mixing it with the masala, and cooking it just enough to combine the two without making the okra soggy. We believe good heirloom recipes go beyond the skillet. It starts in the soil, in the seeds, right? It starts when you first pick the vegetable from the vine. Quality, deliberate ingredients are the first steps to making any dish next level. It takes real patience. We actually used home canned tomatoes in the first recipe for this dish, as well as heirloom okra that was grown from seeds that were gifted to us by our grandparents. Canning is a part of life in this area. A hot kitchen and a mess is just the way it goes. The process that began out of necessity for this region turns out to be one of the biggest contributors to Southwest Virginia's comfort food reputation. Of course, you don't have to use ingredients that you home can, but it really changes the essence of the dish. It makes it real. It gives it that taste of home, that taste that's really hard to duplicate.
The process is equally important to create the final product. It is easy to mess okra up and make it slimy. So this recipe comes with specific notes on the side of the page. You know, like the ones that in an old cookbook that your grandma put on there that you barely could read, but finally after talking to all your family members, you've kind of figured out what that recipe might be. That's kind of what the notes we have in ours are. We've tweaked and changed the heirloom recipes and handed them down to each of our family, down from each of our families to produce this blend of crunchy, savory, of fresh, of pop. You know that sound you get right when you bite through the rest of the okra?
Okra is bindi.
Bindi is okra.
People are people.
And we're the Appalachian.
Mosin and Caitlin of the Appalachian Food Truck. Check them out at theappalachian.com. All right, this is the part I always get nervous about. This is the second part of the heirloom recipe segment. We write a jingle relating to the story that you just heard. We're going to sing a little bit about okra. It's one I wrote last night at 11 o'clock. It's called Not Everybody Likes Okra.
Okra is a fruit, it's not a vegetable. Some people find it only mildly acceptable. Some say it's slimy, others say it's quite delectable. Not everybody likes okra. Okra is a subject that is often debatable. Some say they love it, others say it's quite hateable. Me, I fill a plate, I eat as much as I am capable. But not everybody likes okra. Say it's slimy and it's grimy and it's crunchy and it's wet, but I tend to disagree. Okra deserves some respect, 'cause okra's the best. Okra is a fruit, it's not a vegetable. Many people find it only mildly acceptable. Me, I love it and I find it delectable. But not everybody likes okra. Not everybody likes okra.
We should do it again later. Thank you, everybody, and a huge thanks to the Appalachian Food Truck, Caitlin and Mosin. All right, and now it's time for a word from Window World Tri-Cities.
That's another sponsor altogether.
We're on fire. And now a word from Window World Tri-Cities.
Baseballs, double-hung sliders, window world, they your window provider. Their selection, it just keeps getting wider. Of baseballs, double-hung and sliders.
Yes, for baseballs, double-hung and sliders, it's Window World, where all our products are custom built and American made. For free in-home consultation, windowworldtricities.com.
Baseballs, double-hung and sliders, window world, they your window provider. Their selection, it just keeps getting wider. Of baseballs, double-hung and sliders.
Thank you, Window World Tri-Cities. It's a lot harder than it looks, folks. All right, let's get on with the next segment. We have a wonderful musical act with us for the first act this evening. Fabulous artist to kick things off, Kaya Cater, a Montreal-born songwriter. Kaya grew up between two worlds, her family's deep connection to family folk music and the years that she spent soaking up Appalachian music in West Virginia. Kaya's been turning heads internationally with her poignant songwriting and eloquent delivery. Her new record, Grenades, just recently released on Smithsonian Folkways Records. Please give a big Farm and Fun Time welcome to our friend Kaya Cater, everybody.
Well, hi, everybody. going to play you a song called Saint Elizabeth. It's off of my sophomore record, 9 Pin. How you doing? One, two, three, four. Rise up and fall, Saint Elizabeth. I am king, dear call in the mist. I am slave to your land, I will die by your hand, Elizabeth. The church it did call me Elizabeth to sing in salvation and joy, but the carriage is stained. I'm broken and plain, Elizabeth. Take me up to your glory, Elizabeth, on wet and screeching wheels. For the serpent has died, and I remain by your side, Elizabeth. Can't you hear me calling from beneath, with black and rotten teeth, white roses all around, covered on? Can't you hear me calling from beneath, with black and frozen feet, white roses all around, and covered on the ground, on the ground. I'm the devil's disciple, Elizabeth. Down, down, my depths so below. Tie me up on your cross, take me into your thoughts, Elizabeth. Let the earth fall around us, Elizabeth. Let it sink to the valley below. Let them come and tear us free. We're bound to turn, Elizabeth. So stand with me now, Saint Elizabeth. Roll from this mountain town. Take me into your rest. I'm broken and blessed, Elizabeth. Can't you hear me calling from beneath, with black and red teeth, white roses all around, covered on? Can't you hear me calling from beneath, with black and frozen, white roses all around, covered on? Can't you hear me calling from beneath, with black and red teeth, white roses all around, covered on? Can't you hear me calling from beneath, with black and frozen, white roses all around, and covered on the ground, on the ground. Thank you so much. That's Dan Rougeau on electric guitar. We're so happy to be here in Bristol, Tennessee. We had fried catfish tonight for dinner. For Northerners, that's a pretty good dinner, I think. Next, we're going to play a song for you called The Heavenly Track. You got saved at the hair parlor, washed in suds and light, broke bread at the halfway house, laid out to the side. This land is bare as the palm of your hand. Its fingers at the collars and the coattails of the band. You know me, and I soothed you before. I'm the comfort of the stranger and the writings on the star, on the star. On the heavenly track, on the heavenly track, on the heavenly track to the sun, the sun. You shake the trees and feel the bodies tumble down. You paint your clothes and hang them on the line. They beat the city red with bloody siren sounds. You're on the ground. You're on the ground. On the heavenly track. Ooh, on the heavenly track. Ooh, on the heavenly track to the sun, the sun, the sun. All right, this is a French song that I wrote called La Misère, which translates to misery in English, but it's actually a pretty happy song. Comment joue le violon
La misère,
avec la voix émue.
la misère,
I know you.
la misère,
And I know you know me.
la misère.
Je dis pour moi c'est
Oh, comme elle est grave, la misère.
Je dis pour moi c'est
Oh, comme elle est grave, la misère.
avec l'âme élevée,
La misère,
avec l'épée cassée.
la misère,
And I know you.
la misère,
And I know you know me.
la misère.
Je dis pour moi c'est
Oh, comme elle est grave, la misère.
Je dis pour moi c'est
Oh, comme elle est grave, la misère.
Comment joue le violon
La misère,
avec la voix émue.
la misère,
And I know you.
la misère,
And I know you know me.
la misère.
Je dis pour moi c'est
Oh, comme elle est grave, la misère.
Je dis pour moi c'est
Oh, comme elle est grave, la misère.
Je dis pour moi c'est
Oh, comme elle est grave, la misère.
Je dis pour moi c'est
Oh, comme elle est grave, la misère.
As Chris said earlier, I have a new record out. It came out on Smithsonian Folkways Recordings in October of last year. And the album is called Grenades. And a lot of it is based on a place and on an experience. The place it's based on is a small island in the southern part of the Caribbean called Grenada. Has anyone heard of or been to Grenada? That's usually my first question right after I say that. It's a beautiful island. It's fertile. They call it the Isle of Spice. There's avocado and mangoes, figs growing everywhere, waterfalls, beaches. It's a beautiful place, and everyone kind of knows each other. It's very communal. And it's also a country that's been through a lot of political hardship, I would say.
In the late 70s, there was a socialist revolution that was then quashed by many global forces in 1983. And the reason I'm talking about Grenada is because my father is from there, and he lived through the revolution and the invasion of Grenada, and he came to Canada as a refugee in 1986. And it was a story that I had heard about but had never really asked him about, so I did. And he told me all about the island, and I eventually went and visited. And yeah, this next song we're going to play you is sort of an homage to Grenada. The banjo tuning is part of it. It's the other.
On Meridian ground.
it's been a pleasure playing for you. Again, my name is Kaya Cater. We're going to play you out with this last song. This song is called Grenades. It's the title track of my new album. Thank you so much for your hearts and minds.
Drive the light from the shade like an orange blockade. We always seem to get played. See the men on parade. See the men on parade. She splits the atom in the night. Feel her as she chirps. As she chirps, as she chirps, sing to her trumpet trees and watch them burn. Priestess to the sound. Pluck the tyrant from the brim and watch him drown. 2 seasons invade, a tremor and sway with hands on grenades. Drive the light from the shades like an orange blockade. We always seem to get played. See the men on parade. Rain heavy like carpet bombs. Sweet grass, lemonade. Fold the memory into your arms and whisper it away. 2 seasons invade, a tremor and sway, with hands on grenades. Drive the light from the shade, like an orange blockade. We always seem to get played. See the men on parade. See the men on parade. You can shout at the mountain, but they've already crowned. With his crowds of 10,000, yeah, they've already crowned him. You can shout and surround him, but they've already crowned him. With his crowds of 10,000, yeah, they've already crowned him. You can shout at the mountain, but they've already crowned him. With his crowds of 10,000.
Beautiful, wonderful, wonderful music. can get her new record, Grenades, kayacater.com. Thank you guys so much for being here this evening. Now, friends, it's time for the Radio Bristol Farm Report, made possible by HVAC and Ed Hill. HVAC and Ed Hill, a full-service specialty contractor offering a full complement of building solutions for plumbing, heating, ventilation, building automation, geothermal, solar, wind, and more. For more information, visit hvacbristol.com. Thank you, HVAC. The Farm Report profiles regional farmers, strengthening our community through sustainable, eco-friendly practices and helping to positively impact our region's food access and health. Every month we visit a regional farm and do a profile piece on that farm. This month we made our way over to Jonesboro, Tennessee to visit Clover Creek Farm, a farm Chris Wilson has been a primary caretaker of for many years. Chris focuses solely on sheep and egg-laying hens and has become a respected leader in the field on her keen interest in sustainable agriculture. Let's watch the Farm Report to learn a little bit more.
I'm Chris Wilson, and my farm is Clover Creek Farm. I'm on Harmony Road in Jonesboro. We bought this farm in, I guess, 91. I got started with cattle, and at that time, there was probably 5 or 6 dairies, almost within walking distance around here, big dairies. So they had a lot of bull calves, bottle calves. Then I saw a border collie work. And I decided I wanted a border collie, but to properly train a border collie to compete with, you had to have sheep, so I bought 5 sheep. And I just fell in love with those sheep. At that time I had about 20 brood cows and a bull, Charolais. And I made the big decision to sell those Charolais because that was about the max that I could handle here on 50 acres and go with sheep. Most of the time, up until a few years ago, I would keep from 175 to 250 breeding ewes, Then age sort of catches up with you. And my husband started having some health problems, and I cut down. We had those 3 years of drought, and I couldn't handle that many sheep. I mean, there was not a blade of grass anywhere here. The only difference between me and West Texas was the zip code, This is Lucy. Lucy was a bottle lamb, so she still thinks she ought to get a bottle, She's just, if you raise them on a bottle, they're like a dog. They become a pet, pretty much.
Yeah.
This is Meg. She's a border collie. She's my buddy and my helper. This dog don't say why, or I don't want to, or I'm tired, or I want the day off. She just wants to work. She just wants to please. So this dog is fabulous. A border collie supposedly can do the work of 5 men. Well, I'd rather have this one dog than 10 men.
And that was Chris Wilson, everybody. She was absolutely amazing. Her farm, Clover Creek Farms. You can check them out online out of Jonesboro. To learn more about food and farming, visit Appalachian Sustainable Development's website at asdevelop.org. I think those were some wise words she was speaking there. All right, we're gonna. Well, it's kind of been feeling like spring. It isn't yet. It's still winter, but with all this rain, it feels like spring. So we thought we'd play you a springtime song. This one here is called "Where the Shy Little Violets Grow," and it goes like this: 3, 4. In my dreams of childhood, all the world seemed fair. When I see a wild wood, flowers everywhere. When the twilight shadows bring their sweet regret, and I wander back again amid the violets. I've been making up my mind to find a place that I used to know by the old Ohio, where shy little violets grow. I've been waking up to find I'm dreaming dreams of long, long ago by the old Ohio, where the shy little violets grow. I'd like to find a little trail, a little winding trail, a house on a hill. Find somebody who is longing to be true. I know she's waiting there still. When I look into her eyes, they tell me what I'm longing to know. By the old Ohio, where the shy little violets grow. I'd like to find a little trail, a little winding trail, a house on a hill. Find somebody who is longing to be true. I know she's waiting there still. When I look into her eyes, they tell me what I'm longing to know. By the old Ohio, where the shy little violets grow. Whoa, whoa. Now a word from friends of Southwest Virginia. This kicks to the 2, right?
Sure does.
Okay.
I know this one. 1, 2.
No matter time or season, there will always be a reason to see a different side of Virginia. We think that it's your duty to explore this place of beauty. Come and see a different side of Virginia.
This message is brought to you by Friends of Southwest Virginia, an organization committed to preserving, promoting, and presenting the cultural and natural assets of the 19 counties in our region. Visit myswva.org to discover a different side of Virginia.
If you needed one more reason to visit this here region, Farm and Fun Time broadcast from Southwest Virginia.
Thank you, friends of Southwest Virginia. All right, we are so thrilled to have our next guest with us on this evening's program. Bruce Molsky is one of the most celebrated and influential contemporary old-time musicians, a name that is synonymous with old-time fiddling. And alongside Bruce this evening are 2 other heavyweight musicians, including clawhammer virtuoso Allison DeGroot and the genre-bending guitar pioneer Stas Weisslauch. Molsky's Mountain Drifters use the foundation of old-time mountain music as a jumping-off point, but are certainly not constrained by the hardcore traditional approach, as showcased on their brand new record, Closing the Gap. We're so pleased to have with us this evening on Farm and Fun Time, Molsky's Mountain Drifters, everybody.
All right, good evening. Thank you so much. Great pleasure to be here with you tonight on the guitar. Very anxious to go on to the next tune is Mr. Stash Weisslouch. And on the old-time clawhammer banjo, Alison DeGroot. Now. Almost feel like I don't know that tune. Oh, he threw me off, man. It's all good. It's all good. Huh.
Pocket full of money, but it's all gone now. I used to get drunk and feel mighty funny, but it's all gone now. I had what a shame, but it's all gone now. Jumped upon him just as easy as a snail. Grabbed that dog by the end of his tail, but it's all gone now. Grab it. I let my gal steer it while I did the feet, but it's all gone now. She ran it into a telephone pole, wrapped it up like a jelly roll. She's in the hospital and I'm in the hole, but it's all gone now. It's all gone now. It's all gone now. I saw that she was headed for the ditch. I reached upon it and jumped off the switch. Hit that pole like a son of a gun, but it's all gone now.
Thank you. Stash Weisslouch singing his autobiography to you. It's been a sad ride. Well, we're really proud to be here in Bristol, home of the beginnings of the country music recording industry, and we didn't get the message about Ralph Peer's auditions until a little bit late, so we're only 90 years late, but we'll play you some old-time music at any rate. Here's a tune that began its life in one place as a strathspey, a Scottish dance, a strathspey, and it ended up in Ireland being titled the Grafspey, a German warship, and ended up then again in the hands of an Indiana fiddler named John W. Summers, and he called it the Grand Spy. So you can call it what you want. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, very much. Is this fun or what? Well, this next one is just simply dedicated to all the past, present, and future mothers. There's an old and faded picture on the wall that's been hanging there for many years. It's a picture of my mother, and I know there is no other that can take the place of mother on the wall. On the wall, on the wall, how I love that faded picture on the wall. Time is swiftly passing by, and I'll bow my head and cry, for I know I'll meet my mother after all. Now the children all are scattered off and gone, and I have a little family of my own, and I know I love them well, more than any tongue can tell, but I'll hold that dear old picture on the wall. On the wall, on the wall, how I love that faded picture on the wall. Time is swiftly passing by, and I'll bow my head and cry, for I know I'll meet my mother after all. Well, I lost that dear old mother years ago. There is none that wish me trouble that I'm told. As my banjo plays its chord, I am praying to the Lord, let me hold that dear old picture on the wall. On the wall, on the wall, how I love that faded picture on the wall. Time is swiftly passing by, and I'll bow my head and cry, for I know I'll meet my mother after all. On the wall, on the wall, on the wall, how I love that faded picture on the wall. Time is swiftly passing by, and I'll bow my head and cry, for I know I'll meet my mother after all. After all. Thank you so much. Well, we'd like to feature our wonderful banjo player, Alison DeGroot, on the first drinking song of the evening. There's no other way to describe it. It's called Fortune. Y'all doing okay out there? You having a good time tonight? Bill and the Bells, Kaya Cater, Okra, Bindi. It all goes all together. 1, 2, 3. Fortune and I had it, fortune and I lost it, fortune and I lost it one night when I got drunk.
Wish I had a hog and a pen and corn to feed him. Pretty little boy to stay
there's one defining characteristic of American traditional music is the sadder the theme, the happier the melody. We're going to slow it down a little bit and play a song that was written in the 1980s, which almost qualifies it as old-time music if you do the math. Almost. Written by a great songwriter named Billy Bragg, and we think the words of a good song they endure through time, and we still think it's a germane set of lyrics, and it's a beautiful, beautiful melody, especially when played in tune. We're just having too much fun up here. Sorry, boss. I ain't no boss. I was a miner. I was a docker. I was a railwayman between the wars. I raised a family. In times of austerity, we'd sweat at the foundry between the wars. I paid the union, and as times got harder, I looked to the government to help the working man. They brought prosperity down at the armory. We're arming for peace, me boys, between the wars. I kept the faith and I kept voting, not for the iron fist, but for the helping hand. For theirs is a land with a wall around it, and mine is my faith in my fellow man. Theirs is a land of hope and glory. Mine is the green fields and the factory floor. Theirs are the skies all dark with bombers. Mine is the peace we knew between the wars. Call out the craftsmen, bring me the draftsmen, build me a pathway from cradle to grave, and I give my consent to any government that does not deny a man the living wage. Go tell the young men never to fight again. Bring back the banners from the days gone by. Sweet moderation, heart of this nation, desert us not, we are between the wars. Desert us not, we are between the wars. Thank you so much. Well, I believe we got time for one more for you tonight. We want to say thank you so very, very much to Radio Bristol and to everybody who played tonight, Bill and the Bells, Kaya Cater and her wonderful trio. It was great to be here with you all, and hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Some of what you heard in our set tonight is as Chris mentioned, is on our brand new CD. It's only been out for a week and a half. We're very, very excited. It's called Closing the Gap. And we'll end with the second drinking song of the evening, which happens to be on that CD. Say thank you very, very much. Well, I get my whiskey from Rockingham. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Molsky's Mountain Drifters, everybody. That is the stuff. Someday when I grow up, I want to play guitar just like that. Good golly. Good stuff. You can check them out at mountaindrifters.com. They've got a new record out. Have you all enjoyed the show this evening or what? We hope so. That was fantastic, fantastic. A huge thanks to Molsky's Mountain Drifters, Kaya Cater, Mosin and Caitlin at the Packalachin Food Truck, Clover Creek Farm, ASD, HVAC and Ed Hill, ARCD, Window World Tri-Cities, Friends of Southwest Virginia, our great engineer Josh Littleton up there. Our whole Radio Bristol team, we've got Brett here, Tony up there, Nathan out there somewhere. Give them a hand. And of course you, our in-studio live audience. We can't do it without you. Thank you for coming every month. We really, really, really appreciate it. Give yourself a hand, more than that. Come on. Next month, we have another fantastic show for you featuring the Becky Buller Band. We've got also the Bluegrassstronauts. If you haven't seen them, you're in for something. Also, the Chatham Rabbits. Don't forget to check out the extension program of Farm and Fun Time, the Farm and Fun Time at Noon show, made possible by Permatile Concrete Products. All right, folks, Permatile. Big hand for Permatile. As we always do, we kick off the show with the Virginia tune. We'll end it with the Tennessee tune.
Take me back to Tennessee. Take me back to Tennessee. Take me back to Tennessee. There is where I long to be.
Thank you for tuning in to Radio Bristol's Farm and Fun Time, made possible by Eastman Credit Union. Wherever life takes you, ECU is by your side. To hear more from Radio Bristol, download our app or visit us at listenradiobristol.org. I'm your host, Chris Trulson, along with Bill and the Bells, thanking you for listening to Farm and Fun Time. Everybody, don't forget, all of these great artists have merch out here on the tables, so make sure to help them out and pick up some new CDs. Hold on 1 second. We have to do one thing over. So we post-edit for our shows. We need to do the heirloom jingle again because I blew it. We're off air now, just so you know. But we need your applause once we get through it. It's going to just take 1 second, okay? Just 1 second, please. I know y'all want to hear not everybody likes Okra again.